Hello everyone, you are now watching the YouTube channel of Legal Utility. Please don't forget to subscribe the channel and also press the bell icon for instant updates. Also follow Legal Utility on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Today I am here to discuss the topic, the role of United Nations in international law. Before getting into the details of the topic, let us first understand what is an international law and what is United Nations and why is it established. United Nations was established in order to prevent any future wars after the end of the World War II. The term United Nations was coined by the then President of United States of America, Franklin Roosevelt. The United Nations' main mission and vision is clear from the lines that are present in the United Nations website to uphold the peace, dignity in an healthy world, which says that it is here to uphold the human rights, uphold the fundamental freedoms of the people and to maintain the peace and security. Now, what is an international law? An international law is a set of rules or guidelines that every nation has to follow when it deals with each other in an international forum. Now, before getting into the role of United Nations in maintaining the international law, let us know the principal organs of the United Nations, which are also known as the UN system. The United Nations system consists of 6 principal organs, which are the United Nations General Assembly, the United Nations Security Council, the International Court of Justice, the Economic and Social Council, the United Nations Secretariat and also the United Nations Trusteeship Council. This United Nations Trusteeship Council was established to maintain all the colonies that did not attain independence, but the last colony that attained independence in 1994 made the United Nations of Trusteeship Council almost non-functioning. Now let us discuss about all the other the United Nations principal organs which are here in maintaining the international law. Firstly, the United Nations General Assembly. The United Nations General Assembly has 193 members. All these members are the member nations of the United Nations. All the 193 nations which are members of United Nations are also the members of the United Nations General Assembly. Now all these members have one vote with each other, which they have to cast it when they discuss about any matter in the United Nations General Assembly. This United Nations General Assembly generally discusses about the budget of the nation, budget of the United Nations, electing a nation into United Nations or eliminating a nation from the United Nations. Now when such important matters are at discussion, it at least needs 2/3 of the votes to be casted for a matter to pass. 2/3 of the votes means only the number of people present, number of the nations that are present during a meeting in United Nations General Assembly are 100, then 2/3 of it would be 67. So all 67 member nations have to vote in favor of a decision for the decision to be passed. This is not the 2/3 of the entire nations in the United Nations General Assembly. It is only the 2/3 of the nations that are present on the day of meeting and that are available for voting. Now the same thing happens with the simple majority, which is used to pass any matters that are not of that importance. Now the United Nations General Assembly recommends certain measures to uphold peace and security to the United Nations Security Council. Now we have to discuss what are the main functions of the very principal organ, the United Nations Security Council. The United Nations Security Council has 5 permanent members, which are the USA, the Russia, the China, the France and the United Kingdom, and there are 10 non-permanent members who are elected every 2 years. India was a non-permanent member and India is trying to become a permanent member, but it is lacking support from other permanent member nations. Now all these permanent members have a vote in each and all the 10 non-permanent members have a vote in each. Total 15 votes are in the United Nations Security Council. And when there is a matter for discussion in United Nations Security Council, at least 9 votes are to be casted in favor of the matter. Out of these 9 votes, all 5 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council have to vote in favor of the matter. If any one of the nation fails to vote in favor of the matter, the vote becomes veto and the decision is not taken. Now this is the main step that is being used by China in protecting Pakistan from declaring all the terrorist organizations as the global terrorist organizations, which India is trying very hard to name all the Pakistani terrorist organizations as the international terrorist organizations. Now, let us see what is Economic and Social Council. The functions of Economic and Social Council are very clear from its name. Now, the Economic and Social Council meets twice a year. In the first meeting, it discusses mainly about human rights and social rights of the people, which is held in New York. The second meeting, that is held in Geneva, it mainly discusses about economic development of the world. Now, it is, like I said, it is very clear from the name itself the functions of the Economic and Social Council. Now, in Economic and Social Council, there are 54 member nations, out of which 1/3 of the member nations are selected every year. Now, after 3 years, almost the 54 nations will be replaced by another 54 nations, but there can be a re-election of a nation to the Economic and Social Council. Now, lastly, the principal judicial organ of the United Nations is the International Court of Justice. The International Court of Justice, there are 15 judges from various countries. There can be no two judges of a same nation. Justice Dalveer Bhandari is the judge who is from India, who is in the International Court of Justice. The International Court of Justice jurisdiction is decided by the judges themselves. Now, the International Court of Justice involves in a matter between any two nations only with the consent of the nations. If the nations deny their consent, the International Court of Justice cannot decide any matter between those countries, and any decision so decided is only related to that matter and it is only applicable to that matter. It is the same way where the Kulbhushan Jadhav was interrogated by the Pakistan. The videos came out only on the death warrant of Kulbhushan Jadhav was actually let down by the International Court of Justice. Now, all these four principal organs, leaving aside the UN Secretariat, play a major role in maintaining the international law. Now, let us see the role of United Nations in COVID-19 pandemic situation, as it is very important for all of us to know. United Nations, to be frankly, has very well worked and is very successful in preventing a future war. But it has not foreseen that a war can be levied between a virus and the mankind. Now, COVID-19 is such a pandemic where the entire world, no part of the world is immune. The entire world is engaged with a war with a virus. And now, I feel the United Nations and WHO have failed a bit in alerting people and alerting nations and also telling them the seriousness of the virus and making them prepared to combat the virus. Now, the United Nations has to really focus on all the migrant workers, because we see migrant workers as the main source to develop the modern economy of entire world, and these migrant workers are now left like a lost kite in the hurricane. Now, concluding the topic, United Nations, the veto power of the United Nations, the permanent members of the United Nations Security Council is very well at debate and discussion that with this veto power, the basic vision and mission of the United Nations is getting unattended, like it is not being applicable. Like, due to the veto power, we are unable to take any action on the international terrorist organizations. We are unable to talk about genocides, and we are unable to uphold the human rights and provide the fundamental freedoms to the people. The United Nations has to reframe itself, the veto powers of the United Nations Security Council, and also additions of the people in the nations in the United Nations General Assembly, and also come out with certain measures to combat COVID-19, and also be prepared and be very cautious in preventing any further viruses or any further wars. It is duty of the United Nations to bring the humanity and mankind into a developing world. It has to bring them to development, but not them to hell, leave them in a hell like these situations. So people, please stay indoors, stay safe, and also don't forget to subscribe the YouTube channel of the Legal Utility. Thank you.